Welcome to Session 3 of the Map My Land tutorial sessions. In this session, editing boundaries will be discussed. Previous sessions describe how to add properties, add parcels to properties, and add boundary lines to parcels. This session explains how to change or enhance a boundary. The MML Boundary Editor can be opened in 3 different ways. The simplest way is to select the boundary to edit, and then click on the Edit Selected button. Another method is to right-click on the boundary line in the boundary grid and selecting Edit Selected Boundary in the drop-down menu. The third option is done in the drawing panel. Move the standard pointer to any place near the boundary line to be edited. A check mark will appear next to the cursor when the mouse cursor is near the boundary. Right-click the mouse to open the MML Boundary Editor. If other drawing objects are also near the mouse cursor, a drop-down menu will appear. Click on the boundary line you wish to edit. On the MML Boundary Editor, there are 3 tabs. The General tab gives the user the option of making changes to the boundary line parameters. Notes regarding this boundary can be entered as well. The user's notes will not show up on the drawing, but are available for information purposes. The information necessary to make a curved line is also entered on this tab page. In the example, the closure error in the Smith property parcel that was introduced in the Adding Boundaries session is corrected, and a note to that effect is recorded. Now, click on the Boundary Points tab. A boundary point is any object or marker located directly on the boundary. Boundary points are useful to show specific locations on the boundary line. To add a boundary point to the boundary line, click on the Add New Boundary Point button. Enter the name Pine Tree in the Name column. Now enter the distance the pine tree is from the starting point of the boundary line in the Distance and Unit columns. This example uses 40 feet. The X and Y locations of name allows the user to offset the name label from the actual location of the boundary point. Notes concerning this specific boundary point are optional. In this example, the tree diameter is entered as 48 inches dBH. From the Image drop-down located in the Selected Boundary Point Properties group, choose an image to represent the pine tree. Check Display Text and draw line from text to point in the Preferences group. Click the Color button to choose a color for the line and box. Choose to make the image and the text the same color. Click OK, and the pine tree is now located on the boundary line with the label offset. To format the boundary line, select the Format tab. In some cases, the user will need to use an offset line to connect a parcel to the common point. Any line between the common point and beginning point of a parcel is an offset line. An offset line is a reference line only and is not meaningful to the parcel's measurements. Check. This line indicates an offset. It is not a boundary in the Line Properties group if the boundary line is an offset. Although offsets are not boundaries, they must always appear at the beginning of the Boundaries data grid in the command panel and are indicated in italics. Next, choose the Boundary Line Style from the pull-down menu in the Line Properties group. If you do not wish to display a boundary line, click the Hide Line checkbox in the Line Properties group. The Enhancements group allows the addition of specialty marks to the boundary line. In the example, X's are added along the boundary line to signify that the boundary line is a barbed wire fence. Enter the number of enhancements to be displayed on the boundary line and select the desired color for the enhancements. The Line Text group allows for placement of text on the line. By default, the line text includes the boundary distance and bearing. Map My Land allows additional text to be added as desired at any specified location. In the example, the words fence line are added to the boundary line adjacent to the distance. Distance and bearing text can be independently placed on either side of the line. The two can be combined with the resulting text placed on either side of the boundary line. They can be combined in either order. They can be placed in any location on the boundary line. Use the checkboxes to hide various portions of the text. At the bottom of the Format tab page, Map My Land provides you with a sample group feature which immediately displays any modifications you make in the format of the boundary line. Click OK, and the changes will appear on the drawing panel. Finally, if you wish to delete a boundary, in the Boundaries data grid on the Command panel, select the boundary you wish to delete. Congratulations! In Map My Land, you can now map and modify boundaries for your property. In the following sessions, you will learn how to take advantage of the many features and benefits still waiting for you in Map My Land.